Hello everyone, and welcome back to Steins, my darling's embrace. I'm G, and we have been hanging out with Mocha. We've been looking for content for Arc Rewrite's horror thing. I don't know exactly what's going on. And so now we're at Mocha's apartment. Apparently, she can't clean worth shit, and so we did it for her, but then we found out that she's actually the ghost rider of my rainbow, which is definitely not my immortal. But anyways, let's get started. We clean up the rest of her apartment, which means it's time to dim the lights and get ready to snap some photos. Mocha puts on her ghost makeup and dons the wig from earlier. And so, hey, I instinctively shout out. Mocha climbed out of the window. This is the second floor. Not only that, but as far as I can see, there's no terrace or veranda out there. The only thing keeping her from becoming a tragic headline is the bit of rail attached to the window frame. In other words, Mocha had to latch her hands and feet onto the protrusions on the wall. She's clinging to them like some bizarre ghost spider. She proceeds to close the window and then stares inside with a resentful look on her face. Ah! This is no friendly neighborhood Spider-Woman. Look, I'm legitimately terrified, okay? You're terrifying, Shining Finger.
Hurry, take the photo. I'll fall.
Mocha's agonized voice sounds like the groans of the dead wandering their way through purgatory. Yeah, sorry! I set up the tripod and attach the camera on top, then activate the timer. Since I'm playing the role of the apartment's resident, I have to make sure I'm on the edge of the frame. The flash shines and the shutter snaps. With backups in mind, I take several more photos. Alright, the deed is done. Get back in here! The terrifying Spider-Woman opens the window and slinks back inside the room. She slumps forward, her arms and legs likely tired, and starts crawling along the floor toward me. The tangled hair covering her face reaches down to the floor. From behind the strands of hair, bloodshot eyes glare at me. Ah! What is this, a horror film? I end up taking another photo.
Thanks, these are good.
After removing the ghost makeup, Mocha looks at the camera screen with a satisfied expression on her face. Well, you have your amazing performance to thank for that. I think about the earlier spectacle and feel a cold chill run down my spine. Restless nights, here I come. So is that it then? Job all done?
Yeah.
Guess I'll head back to the lab.
Okay.
I glance up at the clock. Considering how late it is, I really shouldn't be here any longer. I stand up and turn to the entrance. It's then that Mocha suddenly grabs the sleeve of my shirt.
Hungry?
Hungry?
Are you hungry?
What? What's she thinking? I take a moment to assess the current state of my stomach. Well, I guess I am a bit peckish after walking around so much.
I can make something.
Huh? Mocha's facing the floor, but I can see her eyes shyly looking up at me. Even looking directly into her eyes, I can't read Mocha's thoughts. I guess she wants to thank me for helping out. I accept her offer. I mean, she's going out of her way to be nice, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't curious as to what she's going to make. The corners of Mocha's mouth raise just slightly, as though she's happy at my response, and she cheerfully heads to the kitchen. I sit down in front of the round table and stretch out my legs. With the place looking presentable, I can finally relax a little bit. Hearing the sounds of cooking from the kitchen, and with nothing in particular to do, I aimlessly look around the room. Now that I finally have the chance to let it sink in, it dawns on me how unbelievably plain her place is. There's hardly any furniture at all, a round folding table for eating on, an old-looking chest, and a low table for doing work. Describing this place as lonely would be an understatement. It's just so cold. Despite how messy it all is, it just doesn't feel like someone actually lives here.
Anything you can't eat?
No, not really.
And you don't mind if I just use what I have?
Sure, do whatever works best for you.
Okay.
What you planning on making? Up until now, I'd never even considered the idea of Mocha cooking food. This feels new. It's pretty common in video games for there to be a scene where the heroine cooks the protagonist a meal. They tend to be really emotional moments. I can't even begin to count the number of times I've seen Daru collapse in front of his PC from the Moe overload. But then there are also cases where the food is so bad that the protagonist nearly dies. The heroine then replies with something along the lines of,
No way, why? I worked so hard on it!
Again, I can't count the number of times I've seen Daru collapse in front of his PC after a scene like this. I wonder which pattern Mocha is going to fall into. As I try to predict the future, Mocha exits the kitchen. She's holding a tray in her hands. On top of the tray, I spot two delicious-smelling yakisoba uma cups. You never fail to surprise me, do you?
You don't like yakisoba uma?
UMA? I don't know. No, I actually love it, but...
Then here.
I grab one of the cups from Mocha and break my chopsticks into chapsticks. Ugh! Thanks.
Let's dig in.
For a brief period of time, the only sounds coming from this dumpy apartment are our slurping noises. Wait a second, what the hell am I doing here at a time like this? As I glance at Mocha eating her yakisoba, I suddenly snap to my senses. And then... clank clank, I hear the sounds of someone climbing up the stairs outside. They're trying to hide the sound of their footsteps given what time it is, but they're failing spectacularly.
Ah!
The moment she hears someone approaching, Mocha stands up, unusually flustered. What's wrong?
Hide.
What?
In the closet. Hurry. Hurry.
Oh my god. I can't read, I thought that said hurriedly. Oh, wait, what? Still at a complete loss, I'm forcibly stuffed into the bottom section of her closet. Mocha grabs the yakisoba from my hands. Ugh!
Don't make noise.
Mocha throws the rest of my belongings into the closet with me before shutting the door. Looks like I'll be sharing closet space with the futon Mocha always uses when she goes to bed. I'm surrounded by a sweet fragrance, Mocha's no doubt, and my head starts to spin. I need to stay focused. Now's not the time to morph into some Daru-like pervert. Finally realizing the situation I'm in, I can feel fear setting in. Don't worry, I live alone, my ass. I knew it! Kiryu Papa, name's order to change, or Kiryu Boyfriend, name's order to change, is on their way. Whoever it is must be huge if we can hear their footsteps all the way from here. I'm screwed. If they find out that I'm here, even the immense magic power that burns in my right arm might not be enough to escape this nightmare scenario. Daru's the one that's supposed to end up locked in a closet somewhere, not me. Sweat pours down my brow, unrelated to the temperature or humidity as I hold my breath. Hey Mocha, you awake? From the other side of the door I can hear a deep voice that screams, "Man who will murderize me if he finds me." Their voice is that horrifying. In the darkness, I grab what I can only assume is a handkerchief of some kind. I wipe my brow with it. It doesn't take long before I'm immediately drenched in sweat again, so I grab another handkerchief. Cold sweat just keeps pouring out of me.
Yeah, come on in.
I hear the apartment door creak open as Mocha responds to the mystery man. The murderizer exchanges some words with Mocha, and then hear him stomp his way into the room. I swallow the air and attempt to peek out into the room through a crack in the door. I knew it! I hold one of the pieces of cloth to my mouth in an effort to keep myself from yelling. Yo, it's pretty clean in here. Mr. Brown? You have to be kidding me. How did this worst case scenario somehow get even worse? I sink further into the closet despite knowing that it would provide me a little protection from the beast on the other side. The more I move, the more of a mess Mocha's closet becomes. I now find myself covered in small pieces of cloth, many of which I had just used to wipe away my sweat. That's absolutely underwear, I'm calling it right now. But why does she have so many handkerchiefs? I take a closer look and... Ah! I immediately put my hand over my mouth to keep myself from screaming. With my eyes having finally adjusted to the darkness, I get a good long look at what I thought were handkerchiefs. It turns out I was very, very wrong. Damn it, Shining Finger! What are you doing just throwing your bras and panties in here? Called it! You're a woman, right? Put this stuff away! I hurriedly toss away the panties in my hand, the very same ones I had been using to cover my mouth. If nothing else, at least they're all clean. Ah, this sucks! Damn it, this isn't the sort of situation a character like me should be in. This is Daru's territory. Here, Mocha, this is for you. Mr. Brown sits down with a thud and places a plastic bag on the round table. The bag contains everything from meat to vegetables, a real treasure trove of foods. Sorry for dropping by so late. Tomorrow would have worked too, but for some reason I suddenly felt the need to see you.
Thanks.
So, you eating properly?
Yeah.
You sure you ain't just eating cup noodles and microwave junk?
Yeah.
Liar, we were just eating yakisoba a minute ago. Of course, I'm in no position to chime in. How about work? Busy?
Yeah.
I see. Just don't push yourself. Remember, work is something you gotta do to stay alive. It starts digging into your health, it's putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
This isn't the terrifying monster of a man that I'm familiar with. His eyes are the same as when he's talking to Nai. Hell, even his tone is much gentler. Mr. Brown did say he was Mocha's legal guardian. I guess he must drop by with food every so often. Mr. Brown's much more of a loving father than his face would suggest. Speaking of work, you're up to something with that guy, yeah?
That guy?
Okabe. Me? I nearly stuffed one of Mocha's undergarments into my mouth to keep myself from yelling, but managed to snap to my senses before making a fatal mistake. That was a close one.
Okabe-kun.
Yeah, I bumped into my part-timer in front of the station, and she said that you and Okabe were, walking around together. I see. Mr. Brown must have heard about the whole Radicon thing from Suzuha. That's why he's here so late.
We aren't doing anything weird.
Yeah, I know that much. I trust you. And Okabe's, well, he's an irresponsible idiot, but I still think he's a pretty decent man. Well, it's thanks to that idiot and his friends that you've changed so much. You're a lot more cheerful than you used to be.
I am?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so sure.
It's true. I'll tell you, you got a real good expression on your face whenever you're around them.
Yeah.
Mocha looks down at the floor, preventing me from seeing her face. Ha ha ha! I've never seen you get bashful like that before.
Okabe-kun, the others, they're all very kind. It's fun being with them.
I see, I see. Guess I'll let them keep renting out that room. I'll look the other way when they start to cause trouble. Mr. Brown lets out a hearty laugh as he stands up. Anyway, as long as you're happy, I ain't got no complaints. I believe in you. I'll be on my way.
Huh? Wait, I'll make tea.
Save it for next time. I left Nia asleep at home, so I want to get back.
Okay.
See you later. Mr. Brown heads to the door, vanishing from my line of sight. Mocha disappears after him. Alright, mind if I say one last thing?
Sure.
Mocha, when you fall in love with a man, you need to make sure to tell him how you feel. Got it? Men are pretty slow. We don't get things if you don't tell us. Especially that dummy. He's got no common sense when it comes to romance.
What are you talking about?
You like that idiot, don't you? I press my face into the pillow right behind me. Nothing else in here is usable, to muffle out my scream. What did Mr. Brown just say? She likes that idiot? Who's that idiot? What idiots do I know? Right, there's Daru. I can't believe Mocha has the hots for Daru. No, hold on. Something about that seems off. Mocha and Daru are too much of a mismatch. Then that means Mayuri? I guess she can be a bit of a dummy in some ways. No, that's not it either. Mayuri's a girl. I don't think Mocha swings that way. My mind is racing in circles.
You're wrong.
Am I? I gotta say, you always look so happy whenever you talk to him. Talk about him.
That's just...
Who would have thought you look so cute when you're embarrassed? I'll just leave it at that. See you tomorrow. Mr. Brown laughs and closes the door behind him. I hear his heavy footsteps growing distant, and the apartment is suddenly filled with silence. It's almost like the quiet after a storm. I can hear Mocha approaching the closet.
Okabe-kun, it's safe now.
She says nervously as the sliding door opens up. Ah! I take an exaggerated breath of air and tumble out of the closet. If it's not clear, I'm trying to make it seem like I didn't hear the last part of the conversation. Damn, that came out of nowhere. I didn't expect Mr. Brown to swing by. The fact that he didn't sense my presence was fortuitous for all of us. If Mr. Brown and I had clashed, my cursed right hand would likely have activated. Who knows what sort of damage that would have caused. Phew, I wiped my sweaty face using my sleeve. I tried to make this gesture as exaggerated as possible. What is it?
I'm sorry for hiding you in such a weird place.
Ah! My entire body is covered with Mocha's undergarments. Her underwear is all over me, and even the sleeve I used to wipe my sweat has a bra stuck to it. It looks huge too, an F-cup maybe? I shake my entire body to try to get them off. I wasn't in there sniffing them or anything, just so you know.
It's fine, I washed those.
Of course you did. Jeez, I feel like the protagonist of some crappy manga. Anyway, I should leave now. Who knows what would happen if Mr. Brown came back?
Yeah.
I start feeling embarrassed, for many reasons, so I hurriedly gather my belongings and head to the door. But there's no sign of my shoes. Mocha must have hidden them before Mr. Brown's raid.
Oh, your shoes are here.
Mocha opens the refrigerator. There's almost nothing inside. Well, except for my shoes, which are now ice cold, by the way.
I cooled them so you wouldn't feel hot, my lord. Just kidding.
Quiet, monkey. In the midst of the sweltering night, I put my shoes on and march outside, my feet icy cold. Tomorrow, or I guess today, can you come to practice?
Yeah, I can go a little before work.
Cool, I'll see you then.
Okay.
I wave and say goodbye to Mocha, and then start to make my way to the lab. It's from Mocha. Training finger.
So about what happened back there, please don't worry about it, okay? Just forget it ever happened.
Mocha. When I turn around, Mocha is still standing at the bottom of her apartment stairs, looking at me. What exactly is she referring to? So much went down back there. Is she talking about her underwear, or... Oh, okay. In the end, still confused, I replied to her. Back there? What are you talking about? So much happened that I'm not even sure what you're referring to.
If you're not sure what I mean, then don't worry about it. Good night, Okabe-kun.
Mocha. When I tilt my head to the side, Mocha makes a cute bye-bye gesture to me. Having never seen Mocha behave like this before, I feel my heart skip a beat. Dawn ratio. Two weeks have passed since practice for the video contest started. Our dedication to practicing every day has started to pay off. We actually sound like we might be able to submit something. Emphasis on might. Mocha, at least when it comes to singing, is beginning to make actual progress. However, singing solo really seems like too much for her, so after discussing it with everyone, we decided to have Mayuri step in as secondary vocalist.
When she's good at duets. When Fubuki-chan and I sing anime songs together, we always score 98 points at karaoke.
Fubuki-chan is one of Mayuri's cosplay friends. I've never met her. Sounds good to me. How about it, Shining Finger? Think that'll help?
Yeah, thanks, Shina-san.
No problem.
Mary gives her a big smile. Then, still smiling, she trots over to Mocha.
So, I'd be super happy if you started calling me Mayushi. We're friends, right? I'll call you Moi-san.
This is probably the first time anyone has ever said something like that to this to Mocha. She's as expressionless as always, but I can see a slight knit in her brow. Is she confused? No, that's not quite right. I catch her cheeks turning a faint red. She's just embarrassed. Ah, so this is how you can tell what's going through her mind. I've gotten better at reading her.
Okay.
Mocha finally nods. Alright, let's put this thing together. Here we go. With everyone in the standby position, Daru hits his drumsticks. That was exclusively drums. Mocha and Mayuri's twin vocals are way better than I could have imagined. If we had just done this from the start, there wouldn't have been any strange pressure on Mocha. We might actually be able to put together a submission video. I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. We just have to keep practicing. However, the arrival of an unforeseen agent of chaos stops our rehearsal in its tracks. We hear heavy footsteps on the stairs. It's him. Make no mistake, these footsteps belong to the owner of the Brown Tube Workshop. This is bad. Did we make too much noise? Sure, he gave us permission to practice, but if the neighbors complained, that'd be an entirely different issue. Everyone in the room exchanged nervous glances. Yo, practicing, eh? Mr. Brown slowly enters the room and looks around at us with a sharp glint in his eyes. Rikuko lets out a breath that almost sounds like a scream.
Hey, boss. Sorry, were we being too loud?
Suzuha's used to dealing with Mr. Brown, so she doesn't seem too freaked out to cover his presence. Over his presence. Why did I say cover? What? You're in the middle of band practice. Of course you're going to make some noise. Just make sure you keep it down at night. More importantly, Okabe, come with me for a minute. What is it? I said, come with me. We need to talk. Sure. Hurry up. Without waiting for my reply, Mr. Brown stumps back down the stairs. What could he possibly want to talk to me about? Oh no, is he going to raise the rent? Crap. I have to stop him.
Mayushi believes in you, Ocarine. Go kick some butt, yeah?
The fate of the lab depends on this battle.
Don't worry, I'll take care of the funeral arrangements. No, please don't die, Kyoma-san.
Everyone seems to have the same idea of what's about to go down, seeing me off like a soldier going to war.
I'll go too.
I can go with you if you want. Mocha and Suzuha are being considerate, but I feel that going with the group to talk about this would only sour Mr. Brown's mood, so I decide to head to the front lines alone. I'm here, Mr. Brown. When I enter the brown tube workshop, the man of the hour is in the middle of rummaging through the stuff in his desk. Yo, have a seat. Alright. There's a single round chair squeezed between all the brown tube TVs. This almost looks like an interrogation room. I reluctantly take a seat. What's about to happen? What's he going to say to me? How are things going to go down? My heart is racing a mile a minute. However, I do my best to mask my panic as I kick things off. So, what do you need? The other night, you were in Mocha's room, weren't you? What? My voice jumped up 3 octaves. I could feel myself going pale, the blood draining from my body at the speed of light. What are you talking about? I knew it. Mr. Interrogator takes a folded up piece of paper and an envelope from his desk, and stands imposingly in front of me. I could smell a man in that room. Not to mention there were 2 cups of yakisoba and 2 pairs of chopsticks in the trash can. Gah. Shining Finger, whatever happened to cleaning up the evidence? You can't say for sure that it was me. That's why I'm grilling you right now. Ain't that right, boy? Mr. Executioner places his enormous hand on my shoulder with a thud, and narrows one of his eyes. This is bad. He might really end up killing me. As I tremble in fear, Mr. Executioner's eyes sharpen and he gruffly asks, So how far did you go? What do you mean, how far? You know how it goes, right? There's a whole first base, second base thing. What? I nearly fall off the chair. Wait a minute, please. Shining Finger and I aren't in a relationship like that. I only went to her room for work. I haven't done anything bad, I swear. Is that so? It is. I didn't mean to cover myself in her underwear. It was all just a bad accident. Ha! Mr. Brown suddenly lets out a heavy sigh. Oh, that was not a sigh noise I made. Whoops. I figured nothing happened, especially considering how you and Mocha are. Geez, you're hopeless. He holds the envelope out to me. Here, take it. What is this? I got it from the neighborhood association yesterday. I cautiously open it. Inside is a pair of movie tickets. I would have taken 9 if it was a kid's movie, but... What am I supposed to do with this? As I sit there confused, Mr. Brown thrusts another piece of paper at me. Be grateful. I went out of my way to make this for you. What is it? Open it. Alright. Everything about this screams suspicious. I was expecting the man-beast to scream, How dare you deflower Mocha, before ripping me to shreds or something. I'm certainly relieved that hasn't happened yet, but I still can't help to be on guard as I unfold the paper and look at its contents. Oh, a movie theater 9 o'clock when buying drinks and snacks. Don't even think of splitting something. No matter how boring the movie is, sleep and I'll hit you when the movie ends. The thoughts, something. Date plan! Oh my god! Perfect date plan and points of notice. My brain can't catch up with reality. Man, this really brings me back. Enjoy your youth, boy. Mr. Brown gazes off into the distance. Meanwhile, all I can do is sit there with my jaw hanging low. Anyway, keep your schedule open this Sunday. I'll contact Mocha. Wait? Hold on a second. What now? And stop yelling so much. I'm yelling because you're talking like a crazy man. Excuse me? I mean, think about it. Why do Shining Finger and I have to go on a... You're saying you don't want to? Mr. Brown roars like a bear assaulting its prey. His muscular body looks like it's grown several times larger, causing me to jump in my chair. You get to go out on a date with a real beauty like her. What's there not to like, huh? Beauty like her. It's not wrong, but isn't he just a wee bit biased considering their relationship? I'd be murdered on the spot if I said that. Hold on, let's just start to think about this, Mr. Brown. We have to consider her feelings, right? Let's just say I'm all in on this. There's no telling how Shining Finger is going to react to. I wouldn't worry about that. You might not even realize this herself, but I know she's fond of you. I'm sure she would be more than happy to go out with you. Really? I'm reminded of what Mr. Brown said back at Mocha's place. Mocha likes me. That really be the case? Hey, Okabe. Mocha's... Well, she's that kind of person, and I know you're the same. If you both keep running in place, nothing's ever gonna happen. So do me a solid and go out with her. Even if it's just this one time, I'm begging you. Mr. Brown suddenly bows his head down to me. I actually fall out of my chair from shock this time. True, Mocha ain't the most sociable, and sure don't act cute. But honestly, she's kind of a weirdo. But she's a good girl, even if you understand that. Even you understand that, right? Right? Of course I do. I get it, so please raise your head, Mr. Brown. I stagger back up to my chair. Seeing Mr. Brown like this really throws me off. I think I prefer it when he's yelling at me. Look, she had a pretty rough upbringing. Before I became her guardian, a lot of things happened. That's why she's like this now. She has issues talking to other people, and she's bad at expressing her feelings. That's the kind of person it made her. Mr. Brown looks up at the ceiling and lets out a long sigh. He's probably thinking of Mocha up in the lab. I remember what she said to me before.
In the past, I started hating everything. I didn't see a reason to keep living. When I thought about just dying, Mr. Tanoji, he was so kind to me. He saved me.
When I first met her, she was a lot worse than she is now. It was like she had lost all of her emotions. No, it was a little different than that. It was like she was empty from the start. She would just cower in place without moving. She somehow finally managed to start living a relatively normal life, but even after she began going to work, she never really opened her heart to anybody. It's hard watching her go on like that. And just then, Mr. Brown's eyes look like they're shining. Even an ogre can shed tears. So regardless of the reason, the fact that she invited a man to her own room, well, something short of a miracle. I'm not wrong, am I? Slowly but surely, she's starting to change. Ever since she started hanging out with you guys. That's why, please, I want you to open her heart. As her foster dad, I beg of you. Mr. Brown once again bows his head to me. Mr. Brown. I stand up and slip the movie tickets and kind of unnecessary memo into my pocket. I don't know if I'm capable of doing something as grand as opening someone's heart, but I won't abandon her. She's my friend. Thanks. That being said, romance is something else entirely. Don't get the wrong idea. I got it. I'll tell you this, though. If I were 10 years younger, I definitely wouldn't let go of a great woman like her. I'm telling you, you're just biased because you're her dad. Obviously, I don't say that out loud. Thanks, Okabe. That's all I wanted to say. You can go back now. Alright. I turn around and start to exit the Brown Tube workshop. But just before I make it out, I hear a voice from behind me. Alright, one last thing. When you go on your date, you better dress up. If you embarrass Mocha, you bet your ass I'm gonna knock you out. I give him a pained smile. I'll do my best. On Sundays, cinema complexes are packed with families and couples. They happily purchase their refreshments in the lobby before heading to their screen of choice. And mixed in with those happy people, Mocha and I are looking around us nervously. We stick out like a sore thumb. It's my first time coming to a place like this, much less on a date, and I have absolutely no idea what to do. Just to be safe, I checked the perfect date plan and points of note concerning cinemas memo that Mr. Brown gave me. When buying drinks and snacks, you treat. Don't even think of splitting the bill. No matter how boring the movie is, don't sleep. Sleep and I'll hit you. When the movie ends, talk about your thoughts in a fun way. This thing is useless. As I internally curse Mr. Brown, Mocha sends me an email.
I'm sorry, Tanoji-san can be very hard-headed once he settles on something.
Mocha. No, I didn't come here unwillingly. Seriously, don't worry about it.
Huh?
In a rare moment for her, Mocha wears her feelings on her face. Whether out of surprise or confusion, her eyes blink rapidly behind her glasses. Her deep amber-colored eyes stare right at me. I immediately start walking to hide my own embarrassment. Come on, the movie's going to start. Let's get inside.
Okay.
Mocha and I enter the theater and sit down in a pair of seats that just happen to be open. The film's a romance. That said, the story doesn't blindly focus on the romantic elements. There are plenty of funny and sad moments, making it the perfect date flick. Is that meant to sort of call back to the structure of Steins Gate in the first place? Probably. The lead is an actress popular in women's magazines, and actually, she kind of looks like Mocha. When said actress embraces the man she loves while in bed with him, the two begin to whisper sweet nothings to one another. It's starting to get a little awkward. Feeling the need to cool off, I reach for my drink. Mocha just happens to do so at the same time, and our hands gently touch. Oh my god, how moe of you!
Sorry. It's fine.
We both hurriedly pull our hands back. Hey, wait a second. Are we a middle school couple or something? While reflecting on my own lameness, the spot on my hand that touched hers feels oddly warm. What am I supposed to do? The concept of a date doesn't even exist within the perfect framework that is Hoben Koma's mind. The tension-filled 2 hours fly by. After the movie, there's a stylish little cafe in the lobby, so we decide to have coffee. I can't say I've seen too many romance flicks, but that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it'll be a good point of reference for my novel.
Oh, you mean that cell phone novel, yeah? Now that you mention it, that's a romance story, isn't it?
Yep,
And on top of that, it's really popular among girls, right?
I guess.
How do you write the date scenes? According to Mr. Brown, Mocha has about as much romance experience as I do. How is she writing that sort of stuff?
Intuition.
Intuition?
Yeah, I just kind of figure it out. I visualize what would happen.
I see. Considering the praise she receives from readers, she must be one hell of a talented writer. Putting Kurisu aside, who seems to just be in love with the idea of love itself, Mayuri Dukako and Ferris all said that it was a good read. You must be really talented, Shining Finger. I hear that novel of yours has been selling like hotcakes.
But not so much lately.
I've got writer's block.
I'm having some trouble. The story's gotten super serious. I'm not sure how to wrap it all up.
Mocha. Huh, I guess things must be rough. What's the story about? Sorry for asking, but I've never read it, so... A simple synopsis. The protagonist is kind of traumatized. She thinks that nobody needs her. At first, she's kind of an introvert. Then she meets a guy at work and falls in love. For the first time in her life, she feels like someone needs her. And so she gradually becomes more cheerful and outgoing. That's the main story, Mocha. I see. It's pretty orthodox overall, but it sounds like a nice little tale. Where I'm stuck. The problem is that around the protagonist, when the protagonist is trying to get back on her feet, she says this to the boy she loves. People are able to live their lives because they're needed by others. If no one needs them, what point is there in living? Nobody needs me. The boy desperately wants to tell her that that's not true, but just can't think of the right line for him. What can he say that would help her stand on her own 2 feet? As I read Mocha's text, I find myself nodding. Yeah, this is a toughie. The more you try to polish the text with cool lines or rhetorical flourishes, the larger the chance that the reader can't follow the story. Let's see. I think at times like this, it's better to get straight to the... I raise my eyes from my cell phone screen to speak directly at Mocha. And... Mocha's gaze is pointed directly behind me. What's up? Mocha frantically turns her eyes back to me.
Don't worry about it.
Out of curiosity, I turn around, and there I see a family happily walking through the lobby. There's a young girl, maybe an elementary school student, smiling as she holds hands with her mother and father. It seems as though Mocha was watching them. And then suddenly, I can hear Mr. Brown's words in the back of my head. Look, she had a pretty rough upbringing. Before I became her guardian, a lot of things happened.
What is it?
Oh, nothing. I grab my coffee off the table and gulp it down. I definitively just burned my tongue. It's going to suck when it starts to peel. You should get going. Let's see. Curse you, Mr. Brown. Where do you want us to go next? I look at the aforementioned useless memo. Listed on are a host of different locations like Hakeijima or Odaiba, among others. The most cliché date spots you could think of, along with the transportation needed to reach them. Just as Mr. Brown instructed, we ended up visiting a handful of different spots. This goes without saying, but all the popular places are jam-packed with visitors. It is the summer after all. In the end, I could no longer tell whether we were on a date or if we had been tossed into some life-or-death survival game. It was time to give up. After barely escaping a date spot with our lives, we decided to swing by an arcade in Akiba, play some games, and grab dinner at a restaurant near the station. Now this is relaxing.
Agreed.
Oh, wait, no, that's her.
Today was...
Mocha tries to say something. But the second I look up at her, she goes quiet and reaches for her cell phone.
Thanks for today. I had a blast. I think I'm starting to fall for you, Okabe-kun.
Mocha. I think back to what Mr. Brown said about her liking me, and my heart skips a beat. However, reacting to this would look super lame, so I try my best to respond coolly. No, Shining Finger. I had a great time as well.
You stop calling me Shining Finger? It's super uncute.
Mocha. Then what should I call you?
Well, it'd be nice if you called me Mocha.
Mocha. Well, I couldn't do something so embarrassing like that.
But you call Shina-san Mayuri, right?
Mocha. That's because we've been friends since we were kids.
Ha, you're all upset now.
Mocha. Damn her, I can't tell if she's serious or if she's trying to mess with my head. I try to get a read on her intentions by looking at her face, but she quickly turns away.
I'm gonna get going, okay? Thank you so much for today, Mocha. P.S. We're gonna be recording our performance soon, right? I want to give it my all. I want to make it something awesome with everyone.
After sending me another email, she waves at me. Mocha starts to walk in the direction of her apartment. Then, after putting a little distance between the two of us, she sends me another email. Let's read it.
Oh, and I'll tell Tsunoji-san that the date was super boring and that you're actually not into me at all. I think he'll understand. Anyway, bye-bye.
Mocha. I quietly watch as Mocha disappears into the distance. I finally make up my mind and type up a response. Well, I wouldn't mind accompanying you to the movies every now and then, Shining Finger. Just keep in mind it wouldn't be a date or anything as mainstream, lol, as that. It'd be as research for your novel. Don't get the wrong idea. Send. It takes a moment. I notice Mocha turn around in the distance, presumably because my email reached her. She's too far away for me to see her face, but I think she's looking my way. As throngs of people at the station come to and fro, the two of us simply stand there, looking at each other. And then finally, after her usual slight hand wave, Mocha disappears into the sea of pedestrians. The sounds of nervous gulping fill the air. In front of us is the digital video camera that we borrowed from Rukako's family. Of course, it's the latest model. Rukako's father bought it so that he could record every minute and second of his beautiful Rukako's growth. What do you guys think?
Pretty good, right?
Yeah, Mayushi thinks that was fine.
The submission deadline for Nikuniya as we tried to perform our favorite anime song contest is today. In fact, the deadline is just an hour away. Mr. Brown warned us against making noise at night, but we don't have the luxury of worrying about that right now. As much as we'd love to give it another 20 tries, we just don't have any time. It's do or die.
Are we looking on time?
We've got 20 minutes. I still need to copy the data to the PC and edit it. This is gonna be down to the wire. Daru takes the storage card out from the video camera and runs to the computer. He pushes it into the slot and starts frantically operating the mouse. Daru, let me check it over. We don't got the time for that. Daru's fidgeting intensely, waiting for the data to finish transferring to the computer. Still.
Creating the file comes first, Okabe. It's not like looking over it will change anything. We only have one take.
Good point. He's right. As much as it pains me to admit, this is the only take we have where nobody made any mistakes. Regardless of the quality, we need to use it. Alright, fine. I'm counting on you, Daru. Yoki. After a little while, the video data finally finishes copying to the PC. Good. Now I just gotta... He opens the editing software and cuts off the useless chunks of footage from before and after the performance. He then plugs in the title screen and other bits he prepared for beforehand. And then finally, he exports it as a single complete file. Alright, it's done. Great. We should cut it close. 10 minutes on the clock. Nice.
Oh, nice. We have time to watch it once before sending it off.
I'll get ready to up it. To up it? That's a term, I guess? I'll get ready to up it while you guys watch. Oh, upload it. Come on, Shining Finger, get over here.
Okay.
Mocha stands next to me and looks at the screen.
I can't wait to see how it came out, yeah. Faster, Daru-kun.
Mayushi, did you say that again? This time in a more embarrassed tone?
Faster, Daru-kun.
Just play the video, you damn pervert.
Alright. Daru clicks on the file and the video begins to play. To be completely honest, we're super bad. There's literally no way that we'll be able to win the prize money with a performance like this. The dream is dead. But quite frankly, nobody here really cares about the money anymore. I mean, sure, we sound terrible, but we all look like we're having a blast. Especially Mocha. She's doing her very best to sing out loud. And Mayuri's giving it her all on her backup. All the other lab members are performing their hearts out, trying to elevate the vocalists as much as they can. And yeah, from time to time, Kurisu and I glare at each other after clashing sounds. But everyone just looks so alive. Yeah, that's all that matters. As far as I'm concerned, this operation is a success. The performance finally comes to an end. The peanut gallery can't help but voice their surprise and awe. Mayuri and Ferris start clapping their hands in applause.
Oh, that was amazing. Yeah, well, the performance was kind of, but everyone was having fun, so it's fine, yeah?
True enough. Let's just say it turned out okay.
Kurisu flashes us some somewhat strained smile.
And hey, after all said and done, the bass sounded so awesome. It's totally worth listening to.
Nah, it paled in comparison to the guitar part.
Ha ha ha. Kyoma-san, Makise-san, there's no need to fight. Let's all get along.
Alright, that's that. I'll up the video now. With everything on the submission page filled out, the time had finally come to submit to Nikonia. Do it. And I'll just click here. Daru's finger moves to click the mouse. But then... Mocha grabs Daru's hand and stops him. Huh? Shining finger?
Wait.
What's wrong?
Ri.
What is it? Mocha's quietly muttering something. I bring my ear closer to her mouth.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry? What's wrong? While we were busy talking about how the video came out, Mocha just stood there in silence. That's not particularly rare for her, so I paid it no mind, but... there's clearly something wrong with her. Her face is paler than usual, and she's biting her lip, trembling. The area between her eyebrows is furrowed just slightly.
After watching, I realized...
Huh?
There's a mistake.
Where?
My lyrics. I made a mistake. I'm sorry.
For the first time ever, I see Mocha Kiryu shed tears before my very eyes.
See you tomorrow.
Good night, Kyoma-san.
Night, yeah.
Good night.
Yeah, be safe on the way home. The lab members start leaving in small groups.
Hey, Mayuri, is there still a train running to your place? Want to stay with me for the night?
Are you sure?
Yeah, no worries.
I was concerned that Mayuri might miss the last train, but if she's going to stay with Kurisu, she'll be fine. Of course, Daru and I will be staying at the lab. As for Mocha, I wonder what she's up to. With all that had happened, we decided not to upload the video. There was no time to do a retake. Some of the lab members proposed that a tiny mistake in the lyrics wasn't a big deal, but in the end, we opted not to send it in. Mocha hung her head in shame the entire time. When the submission deadline finally passed, she bowed her head and apologized before running out of the lab. We tried to tell her not to beat herself up over it, that we'd just do better next time, but our words could no longer reach her. We were all worried about Mocha, but none of us could find the words necessary to comfort her. I take out my cell phone and shoot her an email. Did you get home alright? Did you make it home without any problems? Make sure you eat. We'd spent the entire day filming, and Mocha was so nervous that she barely ate. If she's too depressed to eat, she might end up collapsing from fatigue. I wait to hear back from her. There's no reply. There's no reply from the Queen of Texting, Shining Finger. On any other day, it'd only take seconds before I'd get a barrage of replies from her. Whoa, hold on now. What's wrong, Shining Finger? I'm starting to get really concerned. I send another email. Are you at home? Get back to me. But again, there's no response. What's wrong? Hey, where are you? Are you not at home? Say something, why won't you reply to me? In a panic, I send a barrage of emails. Hey, Shining Finger, just get back to me, got it? But no matter how many I send, there's no reply. Damn it! I'm beside myself with worry. I run into the lab, inform Daru of the situation, and immediately head out into the city. And I think that is a pretty good place to cut it. I'm really interested to see where this goes. This is a very different feel from the Curse route. And I'm really interested to see how these all go. These are ending up a lot more wholesome than I expected, and I'm really enjoying that. But overall, thank you all so much for following my playthrough of Steins Gate, My Darling's Embrace, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye now!